Hello, welcome back to Primo Calcio. I am Michael here with Anthony. We're going to be going over a little bit of the Champions League shame of Inter Milan versus PSG. How's it going today, Anth?
It's going well. It's going well. I don't have to be annoyed anymore, at least for a couple weeks until we watch Italy play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I was definitely okay with them winning because they, for the first time, had Italians on their team, and it would have been good for the country. However, it's hard for me to like actually pull for Inter, being a Milan fan, even though I'm not not loving current Milan. It's still hard to actually pull for Inter. So I mean, I
No, it
was I
is.
was okay with either outcome. One, Inter loses, PSG wins, and Donnarumma gets to win something. Two, it looks good for the country if Inter won. So it really wasn't bad. Honestly, I didn't watch the game live. I watched it back. Did you see it live?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yes, it was kind of a
yeah. I watched
joke.
that abuse live. Yeah, it was a big joke. I mean, I'm not, I'm not a Juventus cultist, and I'm not petty, so I was definitely wanted Inter to win. But if they were gonna lose, that's exactly how I wanted them to lose.
Yeah, right.
That's yeah. And when it was inevitable they were losing, I was just like, oh, pile it on, just
Yeah.
pile it on.
Once like goal two
Yeah,
happened, you're like, there's no way they're even
yeah,
coming back. Like it's from
yeah.
watching like the rewatch, you could just sense like you pay attention a little bit closer too. Once that happened, you could just sense it wasn't gonna happen. Like there was no way they were
Oh,
dead the whole game.
yeah, they didn't even come out of the locker room. That game could have been 10-0.
PSG was good, but it was more of Inter's failure. I thought. I mean, you
Oh
can't
yeah, big time.
compete with Barcelona, who's a fantastic team, that hard. 2 games in a
Right.
row, get through Bayern, have an amazing run, and look fantastic and defensively sound, and get smoked. I don't know.
No, they couldn't even complete a pass. I mean, it looked really bad. They were just completely nervous, terrified, shell shocked, whatever uh, word you want to use. And yeah, no, this is really bad look for Serie A. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as it looked. I mean, Inter still beat some really good teams to get there, and PSG got hot, and they came out of the field ready to go, ready to play, and Inter was just so fucking nervous, and it showed.
Yeah.
They couldn't get out of it. They couldn't get out of their own heads.
So besides being nervous, what else do you think that they did wrong? I've got something for sure, but I was just curious if you thought
Oh, I
anything
mean,
else was wrong. I mean, everything went
Demarco's
bad, but
Demarco's lack of inability to defend is a problem. Their defense is so disorganized and so sloppy. And I like Achirby. He's done a good job, but man, that is not the ideal matchup for him. That's for sure. But I mean, God, Demarco. I mean, come on, dude. You can't be that bad at defending now. He's how old is Demarco? 27 years old.
he's not old. He's not
He's a
old.
full grown adult man who still has no idea where to stand on
That's
defense.
every side, every wing back rather, every side back slash wing back.
It's
There, nobody
ridiculous.
can defend. There's not a
I
single
mean, he
good
runs over.
defensive side back.
He comes completely out of position, leaving his man wide open to block a shot he's never going to get to.
Yep,
I mean, it's just so.
that was
It's we
wild.
talk about ball watching and ball chasing all the time. Those are the two options. They're either ball watching or they're ball
It
chasing.
was such an easy
It's
tapping
just,
because he left his man unmarked.
dude, it's so
That was a
stupid.
wild decision. That was something that I would expect like Pavlovich to do. I mean, that's pretty
It's
bad.
yeah, it's terrible. What was your thing that you were gonna say?
Inzaghi was in robo mode. I always give him shit about
Yep.
this. He usually this game he didn't. He usually sets up the game okay. Like, all right, game is gonna start okay. He's got his guys at least in he plays the same formation, but still,
Yeah,
for what he does
he's a
it
system
well.
coach.
He has it disciplined. They're always good at the start. The guys are playing hard. They're in the right spot. He picks a good lineup typically. Um, his problem, and I give him shit about it from a long time ago. He can't adjust the game on the fly. He's too rigid. He makes the same subs at the same minute, and he has no idea to adjust to something. And when the game is not going well, it's exactly when he's going to get fucked up because he has no idea how to change it around. And once they hit 2-0, he needed to change something. He has no idea how to do it. And that's, I
We
think,
just
what
bring in
separates him
defenders.
from being good, being like, which he is a good coach, but he can't be great or excellent because of that.
Yeah, he's not a great coach. He is a good coach, correct? And I also think this is a problem with a lot of system coaches too. That's their system. That's the way they do it. I think it's pretty common for them to be rigid and don't know how to adapt to a game. I mean, that's their whole philosophy. They have a system, and the system works or it doesn't.
It's
And
the
if it
same thing
doesn't,
with
whoops.
guys like Gasparini. He's a
Yeah,
massive system coach, right? And they oftentimes lose finals because they can't adapt. Because in those situations, it's so much less about the formation and the initial tactics, and more about getting your players ready for the game and believing and fighting to the death. I mean, honestly, a final, like, yes, there's some tactics, but really it's more about desire and want to win.
So how does a coach motivate adult men to play the biggest game of their lives?
Now, that is actually a really good point, because I'm going to chuck a bunch of blame on Inzaghi, but at the same time, if I'm playing that game, I've got enough personal pride to work my ass off from minute 1 to minute 95. Right? It's
Yep.
just I will pass out on the field. I don't care. I think that most people would do that. It's kind of embarrassing all around. Inzaghi and all the players for not trying. I don't think I saw a single person on that field really giving it their all.
Oh no, not
Very
a
few.
single one. I we give Inzaghi shit. He deserves it. Yes, there's a certain attitude that a coach would have that players read off of. If the coach is visibly nervous, the players can feel it. Maybe there was some of that, but you're grown men who get paid gazillions of dollars to play the sport, and you played an entire season. You worked for an entire season, and you've gotten to the absolute point where you wanted to be, and you can't go out there for 90 minutes and bust your ass. I mean, they weren't pressing, they weren't winning 50-50 battles. Didn't know where to stand. They couldn't connect on passes. It was terrible. There was one of the highlights I was watching now with some buddies because we were all, making fun of them later on and blah blah blah. I mean, they get a ball up to like Taram, and there's like four dudes from PSG just swarming them. Okay,
Zero help.
that's good. Zero help, right? If there's four people swarming one
Nobody's working hard enough to give
dude,
them an outlet, and nobody's working
yeah.
hard enough to like actually support your teammate, which to me is my biggest pet peeve.
Well, there's going to be space too if they're swarming like that. Like, why are we not hustling? Yeah, no, they didn't come out of the locker room. They were absolutely terrified. Yes, it's on Inzaghi, but it's also on these players. I mean, we were talking earlier about our teams and stuff like that, and coaches coming in and fixing everything, or coaches being responsible for screwing everything up. A coach doesn't blow a game in the final minute. The players can't fight,
Right.
and win the battle against a man. Like, look at the goal McTominay scored to win the Scudetto. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
desire and
no
drive.
beauty and grace in that. That's all desire. That's all drive. That's just someone who wanted it. Conte didn't tell him to do that. He didn't do that because Conte's grimaces on the sideline. He didn't do it because Conte bashes TVs or gave a movie quality pregame speech. He did it because he has a nutsack and he wanted to win. So I don't know
Yeah,
what you have to do to motivate people these days, but that's absolutely pathetic. It's humiliating for Italy as a whole. And yeah, it was funny to watch Inter get blown out. Even though I wanted to win, it was like, if you're going to lose, I wanted to lose like that. But man, that's embarrassing.
yeah.
That's
No,
the best we
it
got.
was pretty embarrassing. Yeah, I mean, uh, it's you're right though. A lot of that is just, how do you coach that? Like, how do you coach DeMarco
You
to not
don't.
have a total brain fart and run across the field? That's common sense. You don't do that.
Correct.
You generally stick to your position unless you have to make a last gasp play when you're the only guy back. Otherwise, you relatively stay close to your position. Like, you can't. I highly doubt Inzaghi was like, yes, every time somebody from the left wing is going to shoot, I want you to leave your side, go across to that side, and try to block their left winger. There's no way that he coaches that. Like that's
No, there's not.
and you
I mean,
can't coach that.
yes, he plays a fluid game where players can interchange positions, but I'm sure when they're in that setup, he doesn't tell them to be fluid. I'm sure it's pretty basic
Yeah.
defensive setup. It's not blowing
Leave your
anyone's mind
man
here.
and leave him wide open
Yeah.
for a tap in. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
not coached in. Like, he can't
Yeah.
coach a Cherby to like have a total stinker, which he's been awesome the whole Champions League. He just
Yeah.
kind of fell on his ass, which is, it's kind of what we always say. Like, when he plays against like quick, juky guys who have great like agility and have nice moves, that's not where he thrives. He likes the physical battle, likes guys like that. Honestly,
Yep.
he's even okay against fast guys, but he's really struggles against dribblers because he can shut down the fast guys. He stays on them. If he's close to him, he really struggles against good dribblers, and
No.
that's all PSG has up top.
Yeah, he was the one dribbling in his pants during that game.
It was bad. It was rough.
The
He
whole
he looked old. Looked old.
oh yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like I said, I don't think I think it looked worse than it is for Inter. I think Inter still have an excellent team. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if we said it at the beginning of this or if you said it before the cast came out, but like, yeah, they beat some really good teams to get there.
yeah.
So it's not like all of a sudden they
Well,
forgot
and
how
they
to
played
play.
great
They
too. It wasn't like they played bad
Yeah.
in those games.
No, exactly. They played great to get there, and it was a total choke job. We've seen it before. I mean, from in every sport, it happens. Total choke job. Super embarrassing for Serie A though. And yeah, he's got a question has to be asked, buddy. Is Inzaghi going to stick around?
I think he's gone. I think. I mean, I kind of think he might have been leaving either way because if he wins the Champions League, he leaves on a high note. But right now, though, I don't. Inter is not in that bad of a position as we think. They have a ton of money. They made they called it 190 mil. I think they
Oh,
made off of this. They only have a few pieces to actually add to this team. They got to refresh the
yep,
defense a little bit, refresh the midfield depth a little bit, and add another striker. There's really not that many positions they needed to like upgrade. And then you just need to add a couple of guys as backups. Like you really need maybe 3 starting quality players to take this team up a notch. That can
yeah,
easily be purchased for way less than 190 million. You can totally revamp everything. The issue is coach because
yeah.
who are they going to get as coach? I think Zaghi's probably still the best option for now, but is the team really going to be behind him after you've lost 3 cups? Super Cup was a joke. Who cares? But he still lost it. Coppa Italia still lost it. A
Mhm.
Serie A lost it,
They've
and
had the
then
best
the
team
big
for
one
4
lost
seasons.
it.
He didn't build anything. He took over a title winning team
Yeah,
that was excellent. That the year before almost won the Scudetto that year against a team that had won 8 straight and then 9 straight. Or yeah, not 9 straight. So
he's only
they
won
beat
one
an
Scudetto,
awesome.
man.
He took over a very competent team. He's won 1 Scudetto in 4 years,
That's not enough.
and that's it. It's not
That's
enough,
that's
dude.
why I think he's gone because I don't think the
Yeah.
team is going to follow him anymore because there was if he pulls this off, there's enough belief saying, "Hey, we had a lot of failure this season. We came close and failed every time, but we won the biggest tournament of them all." Now you can't say that,
Well,
and you got smoked. It was embarrassing.
I agree.
I don't know. I think he's gone, and I actually think he should go because I think
Yeah.
if he stays, I don't think Inter, even though their team quality wise will be very similar to this year, if not better once they improve some of the guys. Just don't think that they're gonna have the belief in Inzaghi. I think they're gonna perform worse. Napoli's only gonna get
Yeah.
better with Conte year 2. Milan looks like from the signs of it, look like they're actually the links are good. I don't know because Redbird's Redbird, but they look like they're gonna do better. Juve, I have no idea. They might get worse. I have no idea. They could get better.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I
I'm still
think
on
Juve
Juve.
is just an absolute disaster. No,
But
it's
Roma looks good
uh
if they get
yeah, we're not
Gasperini.
doing anything this year.
But these teams are gonna improve. And if Sarri goes to Lazio, I'm not sure if that's the link, but these teams are going to improve. Inter, I don't think is going to have a
Yeah.
great season next season, or at least I don't think they're going to win Scudetto. That's for sure. So, what's going to happen? He's got to go. Got to go.
Yeah. I mean, so Juve under Allegri. Similar kind of trajectory. The first Champions League we lost a close one. The second one wasn't very close. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that close. Doesn't matter. It still was bad. Allegri stuck around and won some leagues for us. You know, um, did we do better in the Champions League after that? No, but we at least won leagues. If Inzaghi was consistently winning the league every year when he clearly has the best roster,
Be different.
it's worth. Yeah, it'd be different. A different story.
Yeah.
Uh, he's not
Even
even
if he
doing
won
that
a
in a
second
year where,
Scudetto and like another Copa,
yeah,
you think you keep him, but he's only won one, and everything was a failure this year with a very good team.
yeah, and it's been a weak Serie A, just as weak as the ones
Mm-hmm.
Juve had in the 2010s. I mean, it's Serie A has just been down in general. That there's a lot more distribution of talent, I would say, than I mean, there's certainly not the upper echelon that we used to have back in the good old days.
And
So
if last year was a good year for Sierra, this year was definitely a lot worse. Like we didn't make it to the finals
yeah,
of all of them like we did last year, and the teams beat each other up in Syria.
yeah, yeah. It was bad. It was a bad look for Serie A this year, that's for sure. So. Yeah, other teams are improving. Milan's definitely going to be improved, I think, just based on the rumors, like you're saying. And I like Lazio. Get Sarri back, yes. Gasperini at Roma, we'll still see. I mean, I don't think he's going to do nearly
Yeah,
the
he's
job
a wild
Ranieri
card,
did.
man. He's a total wild card.
Yeah.
He'll do nowhere near as well as Ranieri. I mean, hell, if Ranieri had that team the whole year, they would have been competing for the Scudetto.
Well, he's a complete opposite coach of Ranieri.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Ranieri
saying.
has a very tactically responsible team. They're very defensive minded. He's
Yep.
very rigid. He's very defensive minded.
Now you're gonna give him a system
Gasperini is
coach who's kind of
yeah,
free
he's a
flowing. It's
wild
very
man.
very
Yeah,
weird signing. I don't know how that's
yeah,
gonna work.
yeah. That one was a little bit surprising. They that what it is what it is there. But
Yep.
he'll definitely eventually build them into what he wants. It's gonna I think it's gonna be a little ugly. It's not gonna be smooth as people think.
But yeah, no, I think Inzaghi's gone. I think that the season became a. It's funny. They went from having the chance at winning the triplete to now winning absolutely nothing and being quite embarrassed. So it's been a hell of a turnaround for Inter. I don't know who they're gonna. I guess the final thing is who the heck do you go and get as coach for Inter? I've got one thought. I just don't know who you
Paladino,
get. You could get Palladino from me. I think what you do is
Mancini.
you. That's right. I think you go and get Mancini. He's been there before. He's got the Inter DNA. He's established. He can handle the big names that are already there. People will still respect him. I think you might not get the same respect for Palladino because he's younger, and
Yeah,
a lot of these guys are older on the team too. I think that you almost need a coach like that to carry this thing forward a little longer. Let Palladino grow more. I don't want to see
I
Palladino go
agree.
to a big team unless they give him time. And
Well, we'll
I don't
get into
know.
this we'll get into this in another
Yeah,
podcast with the
that's true.
Paladino thing. But
I think Mancini is the best bet.
I think Mancini is the right call. Yeah, I think Mancini is the right call.
Like he's gonna give them calm. I think he's won stuff. He's won Euro. Like he's a very good coach. He's won the league. Mancini is the right coach for me. For Inter to
Yeah,
go forward.
I
That's really
agree.
all I gotta say. I mean, overall, that
Yeah,
it could have been good for the Serie A. Instead, it was an absolute joke. And Serie A's got
yeah.
some serious work to do. They need to start making infrastructure happen because yeah, you can get a good team like Inter who can almost get there, but nobody else did well. I mean, they're the
It's
only team.
it's also bad look for our national team. I mean, those players are our best national team players besides Tonali.
Yeah,
Our best national team players are DiMarco, Bastoni,
Barella.
Barella, Donnarumma, and DiMarco. Out of and what's his face and Tonali. The two of them that don't play in Italy are the best ones on the team.
Yep.
I mean, I'd say Barella probably is, but I mean,
Yeah,
now
he
he's a
even
joker,
he shat
choking
the
two
bed.
big tournaments.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he did win us the he was a major player in Euro, and the other guys were not, so that is different. But if players who constantly lose big games become losers, they become chokers, and it's because they've earned it. And I really hope that Inter sorts it out because if they're going to be the only team in Italy that actually plays Italians and competes at a high level, well, sorry to say it, guys, I'd rather have them doing well than looking like this on
Yeah.
Champions League final day.
It's unfortunate because I mean, and how we kind of work, which is why we're Primo Calcio. We're definitely Italy first. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's
so
absolutely Italy first.
if because Inter's playing Italians, because and they represent that style of the game and they have national team players, yeah, I'm okay pulling them to win in this situation against a non-Italian team. That's fine. However,
Yeah, you don't need to over-explain yourself to the
well,
cultists. Don't
none
over,
of it matters because if they go back to doing the same shit, which they might do, and start buying a bunch of foreign players again, like Inter's always done their whole time, I have zero desire for them to even remotely do well. So because
well,
historically,
no, go
I
ahead.
don't like the team they are, what they represent, the dirtiness they've done in Serie A to both our teams and to the rest of Serie A. Only reason that I have any decency towards them now is because they actually are carrying the flag for the first time ever in a long time for Italy. If they go back to just buying a bunch of foreign players now and they stop carrying that flag as much, then no, I will not be pushing for them to do okay.
Well, they will absolutely go back to buying more foreign players. That's just who they are. That's their DNA, and that's what Marotta does as time goes on. So, the first couple years, Marotta brings in his Italian guys. Plus he's got Conti. Conti always prioritizes that typically
Yeah.
as well. Um, as they've gone on, he has had a number of good young talents that they refuse to play. They keep out on loan. They sell off for Plus Valenza, and then they bring in foreign quote unquote stars when they have homegrown talents right there in the system that they just refuse to bring up. There's no reason guys like Taremi and Correa
Yeah, should be
and
getting yeah.
Arnautovic are playing and not Esposito. There's absolutely no reason for that. It's
That goes for
ridiculous. And
all teams. There's players like that you can see all across Serie A. These need to be Italian players. You got to be giving them minutes so they grow. Otherwise, you're just hurting your own nation.
yep. And this is the reason that I don't think they're gonna ever be they're gonna go back to their old ways. They've already started it, and it is what it is, and that's fine. The
No,
problem
that's
is
fine.
if
Yeah.
Juve and Milan don't get their act together, because if that's always been Inter's DNA. They're not having the identity crisis we are.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I
No,
mean
it is
you
what it
can't
is.
fault Inter for buying foreign players. Their name is literally Inter Milan,
Right.
Internazionale
I
Milan.
don't. Yeah.
But the issue
Yeah.
is that
I
Milan and
don't fault for
Juve
that.
are not repping the national team like they historically always have. And you're right, that is the issue. So if we don't go back to doing that, if our two respective teams don't go back to doing that, then it will be hard to have the only team who actually is doing that right now and not do it. So yeah, it's
Yep.
very interesting what's going to come going forward here. Um, very strange end to the season for Inter. Lots of losing, a lot of losing. We'll see how they come back to it. We'll see where
A lot
Inzaghi
of
goes
ripping
and
and
who
tearing.
replaces him. Lots of ripping and tearing. They got ripped and torn.
Yeah, they did.
And they got shamed. To bring the thumbnail
They
here,
did.
they got shamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did the walk of shame there.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's it for me. You got any final thoughts?
I mean, no, I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm done with it.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
it's good.
depressing.
20 minutes is good enough. The next thing that we're
Yeah.
gonna have on docket are we'll do like a team rebuild. What we'll start with Milan. What they should do, where they should go now under Allegri, pulling together some of the links and what we think they should do going forward in this offseason to build a much more successful team. Then we'll hit Juve after that and just kind of do all the summer transfer stuff. So looking forward to it. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. What's the culture? Ciao.
Oh.